Just observe the things in the video. She is applying the QR code. Kindly read the text also so that you will come to know what happening. What is there in this? She already applied the QR code on the fridge. That's why he received the notification on his mobile. Speed limit. So in this definition, yesterday we saw that the physical consumer products are connected with the web and they start communicating with each other by means of various sensors and actuators. So if you remember this video, in that video, what happened? Just see one by one cases. Initially, she came in the kitchen and she applied the QR code on the fridge. So when the boy opens the fridge, he removes the bottle and the fridge was not properly closed. So he immediately received the notification on his mobile. So this is what she applied the QR code, or there might be QR code or what we can say sensor, whatever it may be. This is happening. He received the notification on his mobile. The small kid received the notification only because of they have connected that application to the web, or he is in the office, the he is giving the permission to the person who is coming there for repairing purpose, and he is giving that permission through his mobile, who is sitting in office and giving permission in the home. So this is what he is applying all these things through the internet. Or the parent, a grandparent were there, they the camera was installed on the door, the camera was going to recognize the person and the permission was granted to open the door automatically. So there was no need to open the door physically. The door gets open automatically only by capturing the face, that is your face recognition. So again this is happening through your internet. Or one of the application was the kid was sleeping in the room, he was not ready to wake up in the morning. So what uh, his mother did, she increases the volume of sound using her mobile. The sound system was mounted in his room, the kid's room, but she increases the volume of that sound system to 100% using the mobile. Where she was in the kitchen and she was monitoring the audio system through what, through the kitchen. That is because of again your internet. So this is what an example of your IoT. This is the smart home application of your IoT. One of the application embedded in that video was your smart vehicle. The speed limit of the vehicle was 30, but she was driving at the speed of let's say more than 30. So she was immediately getting the notification on the mobile, or there might be the case that she received the fine on the mobile. So this is what the smart city application, where the speed limit of the car is going to be monitored. If the car is going beyond the limit, then what will be the procedure, that procedure was going to be performed there. So this is what the IoT application is. That is one of the IoT application. Or one of the application was he got the notification on his mobile that there is a less fuel in the car. He needs to leave the home 5 minutes before, because his 5 minute will be at fuel station, he needs to fill the fuel. So this is what the IoT application is, where the physical objects are going to connect to each other and they start communicating with each other through your web or through the internet. That is very important. So there should be the presence of internet in the IoT application. If there is no internet connection, it will become your what, embedded system. Now we will see various ITU views. It is the process of identifying common way to define or describe the IoT. If you wish to define the process for your IoT, or if you wish to define the process of your any of the IoT application, or if you wish to describe it, you need to follow this ITUT procedure. So what is there? It has not found good definition to cover all aspect of IoT, as IoT is quite big scope. Yes, as I told you in yesterday's lecture, there is no single specific definition of your IoT. Why? Because IoT has very big scope. It is not limited with this and this thing. It is varying according to the application. It is varying according to the experiments that you are going to use, the things you are going to use. It depends on the definition of IoT is depend on such things. The scope can be, it is not only the technological viewpoints. In IoT, there is, we cannot say there is only technology, technology and technology. Other than technology, there are other things also. Like number one, it has the infrastructure or it can be the concept. Whenever you are going to establish an IoT connection, you need two things. You need hardware and you need software. So for hardware purpose, you require some infrastructure. Whereas for software purpose, you require some uh, things that is inculcated in that particular infrastructure. So IoT can be either your, it can view as a internet as an infrastructure or as a concept. So the first view will be IoT is an infrastructure, and the second view will be it is just a concept. If you consider it as an infrastructure, then it will involve your hardware as well as software. The hardware can be, as I told you, there are physical objects, sensors, and your Raspberry Pi, Arduino, and lots of things. So this hardware part comes in your what, as a infrastructure. Hardware and software part will act as your IoT as an infrastructure, whereas the second view will be your, it is just a concept. It is not your infrastructure. It is just a concept. It is just a theoretical part that something is like this. IoT is there. It does not refer to your network infrastructure. It is just a concept. So this is what, there are two views of your IoT. That is view one, IoT is an infrastructure, and second, it is just a concept. It is not technical term, but it is just a concept or it is just a phenomena. If we consider the second view, view B, it is not the technical term, it is just a concept or it is just a phenomena. So let us see the working definition. Now we will come to the working definition of your IoT. This is the working definition of your IoT. In examination, you need to write this definition. If it is going to ask you what is IoT, you need to write this definition. A broadly deployed aggregate computing or communication application and or application consumption system. The very first thing, let us break this definition in different parts. The first part says that it is the computing or communication application. IoT is what your computing or it will be your communication application or application consumption system that is deployed over. So where this application is going to be deployed, over the local network, metropolitan network, regional network, national network or global network. If it is at local place, it will be your LIoT. If it is at metropolitan level, then it will be your MIoT. Regional RIoT, national NIoT, global GIoT likewise. And this is divided geographically. On the basis of geography, it is divided into the various parts like your local, regional, global and so on. What exactly it will going to consist? It will be consisting of number one, dispersed instrumented object, that is things with embedded one or two-way communication and some computing capability. So what exactly this IoT will going to have? It will have various objects or it will have various things. As I told you, you can read it as an object, thing or machine. As it, the name is your IoT, T stands for things, so it is mentioned in double quotes like this. So it is the, in IoT there will be some objects or there will be some things which will be embedded in nature, or it will be a two-way communication and it will have some computing capabilities. Two-way communication means what? If you consider the example of your support DHT sensor, what DHT sensor will going to do, it will going to capture the environment condition, it will capture the temperature, room temperature, and that room temperature it will going to send to the server. So this is the two-way this is the communication that will happening between the sensor and server, and it will have some computing capability. It will going to compute something or it will going to calculate some data using your what, this IoT application. This is the first thing that every IoT application should consist. Number two, where objects are reachable over a variety of wireless or wired local area or wide area network. The first thing was related with your object or thing. The second thing was related with your type of network. The network can be either your wireless network or it can be your wired network. That will be your either LAN or it will be your wide area network, that is your WAN, where all the objects are at proper reachable state. That means you are going to receive the data from the sensor and that sensor will be at the reachable position. That means it should not be the beyond the range of your, suppose let's say wired wireless connection वाईफाई के रेंज के बाहर नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर वो वाईफाई के रेंज के बाहर निकल गया तो सर्वर को डेटा ही रिसीव नहीं होगा. Remember this. So this is the second thing that is going to be focused here. And the third thing is whose inbound data and outbound commands are pipelined to or issued by system with high degree of human intelligence. यहाँ पे क्या होगा? The third thing is you should not only going to receive the data, there should be the proper intelligence applied on the data. Intelligence means what you are going to do after receiving the data. जैसे कि मेरा रूम टेम्परेचर है, रूम टेम्परेचर में मुझे डीएसटी सेंसर क्या कर रहा है? डीएसटी सेंसर मुझे कंटिन्यूअसली रूम का टेम्परेचर जो है वो दे रहा है. सो जो सेंसर ने डेटा कैप्चर किया है, दैट डेटा इज गोइंग टू बी ट्रांसफर फ्रॉम that sensor to the server. Now server will going to decide what to do with that data. सिर्फ डेटा रिसीव करके चलेगा क्या? नहीं, आपको क्या करना है, जैसे भी कुछ डेटा सर्वर के पास रिसीव होता है तो उसके ऊपर आपको क्या करना रहेगा, कुछ कमांड्स अप्लाई करके, कुछ सिस्टम डेवलप करके उसके ऊपर कुछ तो भी इंटेलिजेंस अप्लाई करना रहेगा. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अगर रूम का टेम्परेचर डीएसटी सेंसर ने कंटिन्यूसली रूम का टेम्परेचर अगर देते हैं नॉर्मल से ज्यादा, मतलब रूम का टेम्परेचर अभी बहुत ज्यादा है, तो उस केस में क्या होगा, देयर शुड बी द ऑटोमेशन ऑफ ऑटोमेटिकली फैन और एसी ऑन होना चाहिए. अगर रूम का टेम्परेचर अबव 40 डिग्री निकल गया तो ऑटोमेटिकली फैन ऑन होनी चाहिए. अगर रूम का टेम्परेचर ऑटोमेटिकली 50 डिग्री के ऊपर निकल जाता है तो फैन के साथ में एसी भी ऑन होने चाहिए. सो दिस इज व्हाट द इंटेलिजेंस इज. सिर्फ डेटा रिसीव करके नहीं रखना है, उस डेटा का आपको क्या करना है, आगे कुछ तो भी प्रोसेसिंग करना है और प्रोसेसिंग करने के बाद कुछ एक्टिविटी परफॉर्म करनी है. सो देयर शुड बी सम सिस्टम और देयर शुड बी सम मैकेनिज्म. That system or that mechanism is developed with the help of some commands and it will going to decide some activity that what should happen after this. So this is the working definition of your what IoT. That IoT is your application consumption system that will be focusing on number one geographically, number two on the basis of type of network, and number three having some intelligence that what to do after this and what to do after that likewise. So this is the working definition of IoT is. So the things have been explained in this. In the definition, things are generally either object or tags or sensors or actuators. The very first part of the definition was related with things or objects. So what can be the things or what can be the objects? It can be the tags, sensors or actuators, but not typically PCs, laptop, smartphone or tablet. ये नहीं रहेगा आपके ऑब्जेक्ट में. ऑब्जेक्ट मतलब जो आपका सेंसर रहेगा. सेंसर कहाँ पे रहेगा? जैसे हमने सेंसर अप्लाई किया है आपके टेबल के लिए, आपके की के लिए, स्पेक्स के लिए. सो दैट विल बी योर व्हाट ऑब्जेक्ट इज. PC, laptop, it will not be treated as your object. This definition looks at IoT as both concept as well as infrastructure. Yes. Note that variety of definitions could be formulated. There can be number of definitions of your IoT. Two other related working definition are, उसके related ही दो definition है. Number one, the sensor are active device that measures some variable of the natural or man-made environment. Sensor क्या करेगा? Sensor will going to measure something. So what it will going to measure? It will going to measure the some natural thing or some man-made environment. Natural मतलब जैसे आपका nature है, environmental condition है, like your humidity and temperature. And man-made मतलब क्या? Man-made का meaning होगा जैसे हमने sensor apply कर दिया है आपके स्पेक्स के लिए, तो आपने स्पेक्स कहाँ पे रख दिया, उस सेंसर का यूज करके आप उसे क्या करोगे, फाइंड आउट करोगे. सो दिस इज व्हाट द नेचुरल थिंग एंड man-made environmental things is. So sensor is the thing which will going to measure these two things. An actuator is a mechanized device of various sizes. Number one, actuator रहेगा. Actuator की sizes क्या होगी? वो different रहेगी. From ultra small to very large, it will varying from ultra small to very large size that accomplishes a specified physical action. से एक्चुएटर क्या करेगा? कुछ तो भी फिजिकल एक्शन परफॉर्म करने वाला है. फॉर एग्जांपल, controlling a mechanism of system, opening or closing a wall, starting some kind of a rotary linear motion, or initiating the physical locomotion. फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे आपका बट मोटर होती है, मोटर ऑटोमेटिकली मोटर ऑन होती है, ऑफ होती है, या फिर आपके फैन जो भी है वो फैन ऑटोमेटिकली ऑन होते हैं. सो द फैन मोटर कैन बी ट्रीटेड एज योर एक्चुएटर. So this actuator will going to perform some action. On the basis of data received from the sensor, we will see some output. We will see some data. So that is nothing but the task of your actuator. An actuator is the mechanism by which an entity acts upon an environment. उसके बेसिस पे क्या होगा? एक्चुएटर कुछ एक्टिविटी परफॉर्म करेगा. सो दिस इज व्हाट द एक्चुएटर इज, और दिस इज व्हाट द वर्किंग ऑफ योर एक्चुएटर इज. Sensor will going to sense the data, actuator will going to act on the basis of that sensed data. Just आपको ये दो चीजें ध्यान रखनी है. You might have used the actuator and sensor in your project. We will see the IoT framework, a high level machine to machine system architecture is defined in the your this specification ATSI TS102690 version 1.1.1, which was proposed in 2010-11 as a IoT specification. It contains various devices and gateway domain, network domain, and application domain. This IoT framework will have three things: device and gateway domain, network domain, and application domain. डिवाइस और गेटवे डोमेन में आपको क्या रहेगा? समझ में आ रहा होगा. अभी जो हमने आर्किटेक्चर देखा था उसमें था आपका गेटवे डोमेन एंड डिवाइस डोमेन, नेटवर्क डोमेन था और एप्लीकेशन डोमेन भी था. सो दिस इज व्हाट योर IoT framework is. In this IoT framework, you can see there is a at the bottom you can see there is device and gateway domain. आप ऊपर देखोगे there is your application domain, और आप यहाँ पे देखोगे this will be your network domain. So from device and gateway domain, it will pass the data through the network to the application. अब यहाँ पे क्या होगा? मशीन टू मशीन डिवाइस डोमेन में it will have various device related or machine to machine communication related your things like your Zigbee, Wi-Fi and all these things will be here. यहाँ पे आपका रहेगा how the data will going to transfer from one domain to another domain. It will be defined in your this network domain. ये जो भी dotted line आपको दिख रहा है, this dotted line is nothing but your network domain. उस dotted line के नीचे आपको दिखेगा network domain, और उसके ऊपर आपको यहाँ पे दिखेगा आपका एप्लीकेशन डोमेन. दैट इज योर IoT एक्चुअल IoT एप्लीकेशन विल बी हियर. जो हमने ऑलरेडी देखा था आपके कहाँ पे, जो हमने देखा था इसमें व्हाट वी कैन से IoT आर्किटेक्चर में देखा था हमने ये. जस्ट अ मिनट. So this is your what? This is IoT framework where it will be divided into three parts as I told you. Let us see. Device and gateway domain is composed of number one, machine to machine device through the direct connectivity through the gateway as a network proxy. The second part was your machine to machine area network, and the third one is your machine to machine gateway. So these are the things with the help of which the device and gateway domain is composed of your IoT framework, whereas the second is your network domain. The network domain is composed of access network, core network, machine to machine service capabilities, whereas the application domain is composed of various applications like machine to machine application. So this is what the IoT framework is, which is divided into three domains, and the details of the domains are like this only.